The COT reports last week showed something really scary.
What do you think of this? You like it?
They showed that pretty much across the board, we saw a massive risk-off move. Let me show you real quick what I'm gonna kind of pay attention to this week, and then we'll jump over to some charts and talk about some trading setups. So here's the first thing, the US dollar. Look at this. USD had a huge increase on a net change basis to the long side. Keep your eye over here on the right side of the screen, by the way. We just added this column on our data. The net change column will allow us to see, in terms of short contracts and long contracts, what the net kind of movement was. Well, notice something with me. All of the risk off assets are super bullish this week, and all the risk on ones are pretty bearish. Let me continue. The Swiss franc, notoriously a risk off currency, had a big increase of 4.79%. Gold, the age old risk off currency or commodity, right? People go into gold when they're fearful. Look at this, 2% increase. That's actually pretty substantial. Yen, same thing, 1.86, but it does not end there, guys. Look at this. If we look down here on the net change column at some of the risk off assets, such as the pound, which is pretty risk off usually, risk on assets, I'm confusing us. The pound is usually bought during times of economic growth across the world. US 30, this is the Dow Jones, sold heavily. S&P 500, sold heavily. The Australian dollar, another risk on currency, the Canadian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, and of course the NASDAQ. Across the board last week, we saw institutional money moving out of risk-on assets or risky assets and into risk-off assets or safe assets. How does that position us? Well, let's take a look at what the algorithm has for us in terms of setups for the week ahead. Today's video is sponsored by Switch Markets. And if you haven't heard of Switch Markets before, it is an excellent trading brokerage if you're somebody who is looking for a zero commission trading platform. Their trading costs are incredibly competitive, their support team is phenomenal, and they specialize in expert advisor trading, and they actually have a staff that is willing to help you with getting set up with EAs, grid systems, etc. They have a really easy deposit and withdrawal process. They also offer up to 1 to 500 leverage, and many assets are tradable. So if you go to their website and hover over the offers tab, what you'll see is that they have some really great free perks that come with setting up on the brokerage. This includes on the free How to Trade membership, which basically once you fund your account with $100 or more, you get complimentary access to How to Trade. This gives clients unlimited educational training videos, which is great for new traders. And the last thing I will say is that they're offering an excellent deposit bonus currently, and down below in the description, if you click this link, you'll qualify for up to $5,000 in deposit bonuses. Of course, terms and conditions apply, so click that link and check out and see what you can get. And now back to the video. You can see that we have things like bullish oil, we have bullish dollar yen, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD. These things are generally going to be more bullish on the EDGEFINDER. And if you take a look at the bottom, we have things like the Australian dollar, the pound dollar, the euro dollar being sold, as well as indices. Short bias continues to be the case. Now, this has been kind of an ongoing thing, but I want to show you guys some charts that I really find interesting, starting with a trade that I'm currently in. I'm currently long oil. We'll see how this trade goes out by the time you guys see this edited video. It takes some time to get out there. I am bullish on oil with a stop loss just below the lows. If this market rolls over, I'll be out, but it does seem like oil is in a really strong upward trend, and we've got a nice confirmation from the EDGEFINDER with this very bullish reading. So I'll continue to stay long oil until further notice, looking for a return back to the highs possibly in the coming days or weeks. So that is a trade that I am personally in, but let's also talk about the dollar. I mentioned the dollar index looked so good on the COT data last week, and we've had bullish signals from the EDGEFINDER for weeks now. If you own the EDGEFINDER and you've been catching this dollar bullishness, let us know in the comment section down below. If you're an EDGEFINDER user, type in the chat, in the comment section, do EF user. Let yourself be known. And did you catch some of this dollar bullishness? Because, oh my gosh, the dollar train just keeps pushing. And shout out to you guys who are using the EDGEFINDER to catch trades. I mean, that is awesome. I know it sounds like kind of like a sales pitch, but generally speaking, this is really cool for us to see. The dollar bullish idea from the EDGEFINDER has been really right this past month, and it's awesome to see people using the EDGEFINDER in that way. So how do I play this? If you're not in dollar setups, if you are bullish on the dollar but you're not involved in it right now, like myself, how do we trade this? Well, for me, when I look at the dollar index, I'm looking for pullbacks, right? I have to be patient with this. And so I really like this 50% retracement idea. Pulling back to the 50% gets us back to this nice level of past resistance turned support. And in my view, that could be an excellent opportunity to get long in certain currency pairs like dollar yen or short pound dollar or euro dollar. Speaking of which, let's take a look at euro dollar first. So the euro fell through the floor, breaking through a key level of support, which we now actually can mark as resistance on our chart. So if I get down here on the 1 hour chart for a second, in fact, I'm actually going to do the 2 hour, which is not a chart I use that often, but I think it looks really clean here. I want to show you guys this. This 50% level looks so clean for a possible short. And as mentioned, we do have that confirmation from the EDGEFINDER, that short of -12 and -12 on the pound as well. We're getting really strong confirmation here. And this is all off the back of basically the Fed last week was super, super hawkish. They basically said, we're not cutting rates anytime soon. And we may even raise them one more time and may go another 25 basis points. So that idea from the Fed shook the markets to their core, and the dollars train is back. The dollar bullish train, again, for me, until further notice, I am a dollar bull. I'm looking for pullbacks on the dollar, and that means shorting things like euro dollar, pound dollar, and buying things like dollar yen, as well as this oil trade that I'm in. We'll see how that one plays out. It also means I'm pretty bearish on the indices, and it also means in terms of like gold and silver, I'm going to kind of stay neutral and stay on the sidelines. Now, I will talk about metals more in the future, but right now I think gold has a little bit of its work cut out with the dollar bullishness probably putting pressure on gold. You know, I don't necessarily have a huge bullish or bearish thesis, and I'll tell you why I'm not outright bearish. If inflation continues to be a problem, but the Fed starts to see the economy slow down, they may need to cut rates while inflation is still high. And if that story unfolds, gold will launch through the all-time highs, in my opinion. So I'm not really interested in trading gold short right now. I just think that there are some better trades out there for me, like dollar yen bullishness. So again, look at this. This chart just keeps going every time I mark it up. That 50% level looks really good to me. The 1 hour chart looks clean for possible pullback plays, perhaps this week or beyond. So I'm keeping a close eye on the dollar yen as it just shoots through the highs yet again here. What a wild move it has been. In terms of indices, as mentioned, super, super ugly right now in the indices world. Take a look at the 4 hour chart. We broke clean through support, which is actually even easier to see off of the daily chart. Look at this daily level of support, which seems to not be holding at all for the bulls, which is really alarming because, again, this lower high concept coming in on the indices could be a major move for the risk off side of things, which what I mean by that is that the stock market usually gets bought when things look optimistic, and it usually gets sold when things look scary, which is kind of the case right now. So if you're watching indices, one thing I would say would be, if you're an outright bear, I'm not quite at a level where I want to sell this thing. I'd like to see it kind of break lower, really get the selling kind of started, and then pullbacks would be kind of a bearish idea for me in terms of the indices. Now, in terms of gold, I want to come back to this one and talk about it a little bit more because I know a lot of traders love to trade gold and they may be wondering, what is this all about, Nick? In terms of the EDGEFINDER and the bias here, you'll see that gold is not really on the list. It's pretty neutral right now. And part of the reason for that is because some of the slowdown may be bullish for gold, but at the same time, some of the inflationary pressures, which could lead to a stronger dollar, are also bearish for gold. So I'm getting a mixed picture here right now for gold. I know Frank is short biased on gold. He's been really killing it on the gold shorts inside of the VIP group. I personally have not been partaking in the gold moves recently at all. So let's just start fresh and I'll tell you guys where I'm at. In terms of bullish or bearish ideas, I'd really like to see this thing either break out higher in a potentially, real fear environment or break out lower. So again, it's kind of a boring answer because it's not like, oh, I'm super bullish on this or super bearish on this. I'm really just kind of waiting to see if we can get a breakout above or below current major levels of structure. Things might be worth a trade, but for me right now, just going to kind of be on the sidelines with gold. But again, shout out to Frank and anybody else who is catching gold shorts. If you don't know who Frank is, he is my trading partner here at A1 Trading. We trade together within the live room each and every day, which is linked down below in the description. Also, I should mention, if you guys want a copy of the EDGEFINDER, again, the EDGEFINDER has just been on fire recently with dollar bullish ideas and Indices bearish ideas. If you've been trading the indices to the sell side, or if you've been bullish on the dollar, it's been a wonderful trade recently. And if you don't have a copy, you can get one right now for a super discounted rate by clicking the link at the top of the description. When you click that link, it'll open up a chat like this. Click this link, click chat now, and mention that you'd like a 15% discount off of the EDGEFINDER, or if you'd like a tour of the EDGEFINDER as well, someone from my staff will set you up with a tour to walk through the EDGEFINDER to see if it's a fit for you. So click the link down below in the description and chat with us. And chat with someone from my team right now. Again, it's a real person. You're not going to chat to a robot or anything like that. It's a real staff member who can help you out with a copy of the EDGEFINDER if that's something you're looking to get access to. This week will be exceptionally interesting because we have GDP numbers coming later on in the week, which will be very interesting for gold specifically, as economic growth can be bearish for gold and economic slowdown can actually be bullish for gold as maybe fear starts to ramp up. Very, very interested to see how that comes out later on. I think it's on Wednesday that we get that number. And we also have Jerome Powell coming out with more commentary this week, which should give us more guidance as to the next moves for the dollar. But right now, dollar bullish, indices bearish. That's where I'm personally at. And see you guys in the next video. If you're looking to improve as a trader, we've got some cool free resources here that I wanted to share as we close today's video. Down below in the description, there is a link to join our Discord channel or our Telegram channel. And we also have our website, a1trading.com, where traders can get access to free course material to help you improve as a trader. Remember, we are also live Monday through Friday on this channel around 9:30 a.m. US Eastern, broadcasting most live news events and that sort of thing. So hope to see you there. And also, we do have a couple videos here showing up on the screen. If either of these seems like it might be helpful to you, then make sure to click here or here, and we'll see you there.